Horror movies have a unique ability to captivate audiences with their suspense, fear, and often a touch of the supernatural. Over the years, many horror franchises have emerged, leaving a lasting impact on the genre. From classic slasher films to modern-day haunted house tales, these franchises have entertained and terrified viewers for generations. This list explores the top 10 horror movie franchises, each with its own distinct style, memorable characters, and iconic moments that have solidified their place in cinematic history. Number 10. Paranormal Activity. The Paranormal Activity franchise is a horror film series that follows the lives of ordinary families who encounter terrifying paranormal phenomena. The films are known for their found footage style, which often creates a sense of authenticity and immersion for viewers. Paranormal Activity, the inaugural film in the series, established its signature style with its straightforward yet effective storytelling and chilling ambiance. Paranormal Activity 2 continued the style while expanding the franchise's mythology and introducing new characters. Paranormal Activity 3, a prequel, offered a refreshing change of pace by delving into the origins of the paranormal activity depicted in the first two films. This prequel provided a satisfying backstory and introduced new scares, further enriching the franchise's lore. Paranormal Activity The Marked Ones, a successful spin-off, introduced a new group of characters, Latino teens caught in a supernatural curse. This fresh perspective breathed new life into the franchise, offering a unique and thrilling narrative. Overall, the Paranormal Activity franchise is a mixed bag. The early films are generally considered to be the strongest, offering a blend of scares and character development. However, as the series progressed, the quality began to decline, with later installments often relying too heavily on formulaic scares and repetitive plotlines. Number 9. Saw. The Saw franchise is a horror film series that follows the twisted games of a serial killer known as Jigsaw. The series is known for its gruesome violence, complex plotlines, and moral dilemmas. While some films in the franchise are considered classics, others have been criticized for the lack of originality and excessive gore. The original Saw film introduced the chilling concept of Jigsaw, a mysterious serial killer who traps victims in a deadly game with a sinister twist. It quickly became a horror masterpiece, earning its place as one of the most terrifying films in the series. The sequel, Saw 2, expanded upon the mythology of Jigsaw, introducing new characters and escalating the suspense. This tense and suspenseful film kept viewers on the edge of their seats from beginning to end. The Saw franchise continued to explore the twisted world of Jigsaw with Saw 3, which delved deeper into his backstory and provided a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. While Saw 4 maintained the series' high standards, Saw 5 was criticized for its convoluted plot and lack of suspense. Saw 6 explored interesting themes, but was criticized for excessive gore. Saw 7 3D introduced a new group of victims, but lacked originality and relied too heavily on shock value. Overall, the Saw franchise is a mixed bag. There are some excellent films in the series that are considered horror classics, however, there are also some weaker entries that have been criticized for their lack of originality and excessive gore. Whether you're a fan of horror films or not, the Saw franchise is worth checking out. Just be prepared for some disturbing content. You've been warned. Number 8. Evil Dead. The Evil Dead franchise is a horror film series that follows a group of friends who encounter demonic forces while vacationing in a secluded cabin in the woods. Known for its extreme violence, gore, and humor, it has become a cult classic. The original film, The Evil Dead, praised for its innovative practical effects and unrelenting pace. Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, a more comedic take, remains a fan favorite, offering plenty of scares and gore. Army of Darkness, a fantasy comedy, sends the protagonist Ash Williams back in time to the medieval era, standing out as a unique and entertaining film. While the 2013 remake of The Evil Dead is a faithful adaptation, it lacks the charm and originality of the original. The TV series Ash vs. Evil Dead continues the franchise, following Ash Williams as he battles evil forces. Despite being entertaining, it has been criticized for uneven quality and reliance on shock value. Overall, the Evil Dead franchise offers a mix of horror classics and weaker entry. If you've never watched The Evil Dead, you should check out at least the first film to understand why it's a cult classic. Number 7. The Ring. The Ring movie franchise is a horror series centered around a cursed videotape that causes anyone who watches it to die within 7 days. Renowned for its psychological horror, eerie atmosphere, and iconic antagonists, the series has garnered both a critical acclaim and a dedicated following. The original American remake, The Ring, expertly builds suspense and delivers a chilling finale. Its sequel, The Ring 2, continues the story, introducing new characters while maintaining the quality of the original. However, the franchise also includes some weaker entries. The original Japanese film, Ringu, is a slow burn horror that may not appeal to all viewers due to its deliberate pace. The Ring 3, The Curse, is a convoluted sequel that fails to capture the horror of its predecessors, and the 2017 reboot, Rings, offers little new to the series, being a generic horror film that lacks both scares and entertainment. Overall, the Ring movie franchise is yet another mixed bag. While the original film introduced something new to the industry, the sequels failed to live up to the originality and just felt more like a cash grab. Number 6. The Night of the Living Dead. The Night of the Living Dead series is a cornerstone of horror cinema, and several films within it are considered must-watch classics. The original film, released in 1968, is a groundbreaking masterpiece that introduced the concept of modern zombies and explored societal themes of race, class, and humanity in the face of a terrifying threat. The series continued to evolve with the 1978 sequel, Dawn of the Dead. This film takes the action into a shopping mall and explores the consumer society of late 1970s. Known for its iconic visuals, memorable characters, and societal commentary, Dawn of the Dead is a thrilling and thought-provoking entry in the franchise. The third installment, Day of the Dead, released in 1980, offers a different perspective on the zombie apocalypse. Focusing on a group of scientists trapped in a bunker, this film delves into the psychological and philosophical implications of the undead threat. While less action-packed than its predecessors, Day of the Dead, it's a compelling exploration of the human condition in extreme circumstances. Overall, the Night of the Living Dead series offers a diverse range of films that explore the zombie apocalypse in different ways. While some films are better than others, the franchise as a whole remains a beloved, influential horror classic. Number 5. The Conjuring. From the gruesome complexities of Saw to the haunting realism of The Conjuring, James Wan has constantly delivered unforgettable experiences. His ability to craft compelling narratives, coupled with his penchant for genre bending, has solidified his status as one of the most influential horror directors of the past 2 decades. The Conjuring serves as the cornerstone of Wan's horror universe, drawing inspiration from the real-life Perron family haunting. The film follows paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren as they delve into the terrifying events plaguing the family's home. Wan's meticulous attention to detail and his ability to create a palpable sense of dread make The Conjuring a benchmark in the horror cinema. Beyond the original trilogy, Wan's Conjuring universe has expanded to include spin-offs featuring characters and artifacts from the Warrens' investigations. While the quality of these films may vary, the franchise as a whole offers a rich tapestry of horror experiences. If not for a few missteps like The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona, the Conjuring series would undoubtedly rank even higher among horror franchises. Number 4. Friday the 13th. Inspired by the success of Halloween, director Sean S. Cunningham crafted Friday the 13th, a slasher film that embraced and amplified the genre's convention. The 1980 film starring Betsy Palmer as the vengeful Pamela Voorhees introduced the iconic Jason Voorhees and became a box office sensation. Jason Voorhees, the franchise's enduring antagonist, made his debut in Friday the 13th Part 2, though his chilling appearance in the first film's finale foreshadowed his terror. The series dominated the 80s with 6 more sequels showcasing Jason's relentless pursuit of victims. However, his reign of terror was seemingly ended in 1993's Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Over the years, the Friday the 13th series ventured into increasingly bizarre territory, from Jason's encounter with a telekinetic woman to his battle in New York City and even space. The franchise's most infamous crossover pitted him against Freddy Krueger in a dream-filled showdown. Despite its legal troubles and uneven quality, Friday the 13th remains a significant force in slasher cinema, with a new prequel series on the horizon. Number 3. Nightmare on Elm Street. The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is a horror series that follows the terrifying exploits of Freddy Krueger, a child murderer who haunts the dreams of teenagers. The series is known for its iconic villain, surreal imagery, and blend of horror and dark humor. The original film, A Nightmare on Elm Street, introduced Freddy Krueger and his terrifying dream world. It remains one of the most influential films in the genre. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is a more experimental film that delves into the psychological depths of Freddy Krueger. While divisive, it is undeniably creative and unique. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, is a fun, iconic entry in the series, featuring a group of teenagers battling Freddy Krueger. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare provides a fitting, over-the-top conclusion with outrageous deaths. While The Dream Master is a solid horror film, it lacks the psychological depth of earlier entries. The Dream Child is a confusing, convoluted mess. Freddy vs. Jason is a generic crossover that fails to meet expectations of fans. Overall, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is a mixed bag yet again. It features some excellent films that are considered horror classics, but again, weaker entries that have been criticized for their lack of originality. If you're a fan of horror films, the Nightmare of Elm Street franchise is definitely worth checking out, but you may want to be a little more selective on which entries you choose to watch. Number 2, Halloween. The Halloween franchise is another classic horror series that have been terrifying audiences for decades. Centered around the masked serial killer Michael Myers, the films often have a gritty, realistic tone that creates a sense of dread and suspense. With iconic characters like Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and a truly terrifying villain in Michael Myers, the Halloween series has had a significant impact on pop culture. While not every film in the series is a masterpiece, the franchise as a whole has a strong reputation for delivering quality horror. Fans of the genre will likely find something to enjoy in the Halloween series. While some sequels like Halloween 2 and Halloween H20 20 years later are considered classics, others have been criticized for their plot holes and lack of originality. Rob Zombie's remakes, known for their gritty, realistic approach, were praised by some but also criticized for their violence and lack of scares. David Gordon Green's trilogy, which returned to the original formula, has been praised for its strong performances but also received mixed reviews for its sequels. Ultimately, whether or not you enjoy the sequels and reboots depend on your personal preference. Some fans appreciate the different takes on the franchise, while others prefer the original films. And lastly, Scream. The Scream franchise, a horror film series that began in 1996, has captivated audiences worldwide with its clever blend of self-awareness, suspense, and iconic characters. The film revolves around Ghostface, a masked killer who terrorizes a group of high school students and their loved ones. One of the many reasons why the Scream movies are so good is their meta commentary on horror films. The characters often discuss and analyze horror movie tropes, making the audience aware of the conventions of the genre. This self-awareness adds a layer of complexity and humor to the films. Another reason for the success of the Scream franchise is the engaging characters. The films features a strong ensemble cast of characters who are both relatable and memorable. From the witty and resourceful Sidney Prescott to the loyal and supportive Dewey Riley, the audience is invested in their survival and well-being. The Scream franchise has managed to stay fresh and relevant with each sequel, even with the most recent Scream 6. Overall, the Scream movies are a must-watch for horror fans. Their clever writing, engaging characters, and suspenseful storytelling make them a timeless classic. The horror movie genre continues to evolve, with new franchises emerging and old ones reimagined. The top 10 franchises featured in this list represent a diverse range of horror subgenres, from the supernatural to the psychological. Each franchise has its own unique qualities that have captivated audiences and made them enduring classics. Whether you're a fan of slasher films, haunted house tales, or creature features, there's a horror franchise out there that will keep you on the edge of your seat. What is your favorite horror film franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and happy Halloween.